Deep in the heart of Storybook Land, where every day is filled with adventure and laughter, there lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his infectious giggle and his insatiable curiosity about the world around him. One day, while playing by the whispering willow tree, Finn found a strange balloon. It wasn't the usual kind. This one was an ethereal blue, almost transparent and shimmering like a soap bubble. Curiosity overwhelmed him. He reached out, touched it, and the balloon instantly inflated with a rush of air. But it wasn't just any air. As it grew larger, revealing beautiful swirling patterns inside, the wind carried whispers that stirred forgotten moments in Finn's life. Giggles echoed from the day he learned to ride his scooter, dreams he had on starry nights, and stories his grandfather told him under this very willow tree. Each puff of air brought back a vivid memory, making Finn feel like he was reliving his own personal history. The balloon, it seemed, held not just air but fragments of time itself. But suddenly, a dark shadow fell over them. A tall, thin man with shifty eyes and a coat full of patches materialized out of thin air. "Well, well," he rasped, eyes gleaming with mischief. "What have we here? A memory balloon, just the kind of treasure I've been searching for." Before Finn could react, the man popped the balloon with a sharp needle, sending shards of swirling blue flying everywhere. With a loud cackle, he vanished, leaving behind only the faint echo of his wicked laughter. The shards fell like blue rain over Storybook Land, each one carrying a precious memory from someone's past. The baker gasped as a memory of her late husband floated away. An elderly couple watched tearfully as their first dance together drifted into the clouds, and old Mr. Willow wept to see his youth and dreams scattered by the wind. It was a catastrophe. The thief had stolen not just their memories, but pieces of their souls. And so the townspeople gathered in the town square, despair heavy in their hearts. They looked up at the sky, now devoid of the swirling blue, their spirits as deflated as a popped balloon. Then, little Finn stepped forward. His face, though young, was etched with determination. He wouldn't let the memory thief win. Not while he had a harmonica in his pocket. Now, Finn loved his harmonica. It was a gift from his grandfather, who taught him that music could express what words couldn't. Whenever he played, the notes soared like birds, danced like flames, and whispered secrets to the wind. As Finn took it out and blew a soft note, the wind began to stir. It swirled around him, eager to carry his tune across the land. And as it did, something magical happened. The scattered memory shards began to gather. Drawn by the harmonica's song, they formed into a giant swirling vortex above Finn. The people watched in awe as the wind lifted the shards higher and higher, forming a magnificent column reaching all the way to the clouds. With a deep breath, Finn started to play. The melody was slow at first, hesitant, like the wind unsure of its path. But then, as if catching the tune, the wind picked up the pace. The notes danced on the breeze, weaving a lively jig that beckoned the memories home. At first, the return was slow. The baker's memory of her husband's hearty laugh came back, swirling gently to her. The elderly couple swayed to the tune of their first dance, their love rekindled, and Mr. Willow felt the thrill of his youth return. But then, as if awakened by a chorus of remembered joy, the rest of Storybook Land joined in. The town square filled with the echoes of laughter, the scent of freshly baked bread, the murmur of first dances, and the whisper of dreams. Every storefront became a window to the past. In the bakery, the walls were lined with photos of smiling customers, each capturing a moment of shared happiness. Outside the dance hall, couples twirled under crystal chandeliers, reliving their most romantic moments. Even old Mr. Willow found his spirit lifted as he too danced among the swirling memories. It was as if the entire town was a character in Finn's personal orchestra, each playing a part in the grand symphony of his life. Yet some memories remained stubbornly out of reach. High above the town, in the very clouds, hovered the memory thief, his coat billowing in the wind. He clutched a vial filled with shimmering blue liquid, the essence of the stolen memories. With a cruel smile, he prepared to drain the last of Storybook Land's history into his vial, extinguishing their past forever. He uncorked the vial, and just as the final notes of Finn's harmonica faded away, he poured the cloudy liquid into the empty balloon. But as he did, something unexpected happened. The balloon didn't turn cloudy or dark like the thief expected. Instead, it began to glow with a soft, steady light. Startled, the thief stumbled back, knocking the vial from his hand. It cracked against the clouds, releasing a shower of sparkling blue sparks. Startled by the sudden burst of light and the sound of shattering glass, the thief instinctively covered his face, shielding his eyes from the dazzling display. As he did, the glowing shards of the balloon drifted into his hair, tickling his skin with tiny electric shocks. Confused and in pain, he swatted at them. But the more he struggled, the more shards seemed to appear, wrapping around his arms and legs like shimmering ropes. Struggling to free himself from the prickly strands, the thief looked up in panic, only to find that the sky was no longer empty. It was filled with hundreds, maybe thousands of balloons, each glowing brightly and floating towards him. The townspeople of Storybook Land stood behind them, their faces filled with hope and determination. The baker held a balloon with a picture of her husband. The elderly couple had one with a faded photo of their wedding day, and even old Mr. Willow had a bunch tied together with string, each one containing a fragment of his long-forgotten dreams. As the balloons floated closer, the thief felt a change coming over him. The anger that had fueled his journey, the bitterness that had driven him to steal these memories, began to fade. In its place, a warmth he'd never known spread through his chest, chasing away the loneliness that had clung to him for so long. With trembling hands, he reached out and touched the nearest balloon. The moment his fingers made contact, the memory inside floated into his mind. He saw a young boy, no older than Finn, laughing as he chased fireflies on a summer night. The boy looked happy, carefree, filled with the wonder that only childhood can bring. And the thief realized that this wasn't just a random memory. It was his own. He had been that carefree child once too. Somewhere along the way, he'd lost that joy, replaced it with anger and stolen the happiness of others in a futile attempt to fill the void within him. Overwhelmed with remorse, the thief sank to his knees. The people of Storybook Land watched, their expressions softening with understanding and compassion. They knew that the thief wasn't born with a heart full of darkness, but had, like all of them, once known the warmth of love and the lightness of joy. As if sensing their thoughts, Finn stepped forward. He held out his harmonica, its silvery surface glinting in the afternoon sun. The people gasped, realizing what he was asking. Slowly, hesitantly, the thief took the harmonica. It felt strange in his hands. Alien. He looked up at Finn, his eyes filled with gratitude and shame. Then, taking a deep breath, he began to play. The music that poured from the harmonica was different this time. It was sad, filled with regret and longing, but also hopeful, reaching out for redemption. As the notes floated on the breeze, the glowing balloons rose higher and higher, forming a bridge between the clouds and the town below. The people of Storybook Land followed the melody, their balloons bobbing in unison like a fleet of fireflies. Together, they reached the thief and enveloped him in a warm embrace. The memory thief, his heart lighter than it had been in years, allowed himself to be pulled towards the warmth, surrendering to the melody and the memories that swirled around him like a comforting blanket. As they made their way back down to earth, the townspeople exchanged smiles, their faces shining with newfound hope and the promise of brighter days ahead. Back in the town square, the memory thief, now seen as a hero, handed the harmonica back to Finn. The townspeople cheered, their voices echoing with joy and relief. Old Mr. Willow, his eyes twinkling with wisdom, stepped forward. He placed a gnarled hand on the thief's shoulder, acknowledging the journey they had all been through. "Remember this day," he said, his voice raspy but kind. "For it is not the memories that we lose, but the hope that we hold on to that truly matters." And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the people of Storybook Land gathered together. They shared stories, laughter, and dreams, their voices mingling in a chorus of unity and strength. The memory thief, his heart full of gratitude, realized that he had found something far more valuable than stolen memories. He had found a home. From that day forward, the memory thief became a beloved member of Storybook Land. He helped rebuild the town, his strong arms and nimble fingers proving useful in countless projects. He assisted the baker in making her famous apple pie, his keen eye ensuring that every slice was perfect. He even helped the elderly couple restore the dance hall to its former glory, reminiscing about his own days of youthful romance as he polished the chandeliers. Most importantly, he never forgot the lesson he had learned from a young boy and a magical harmonica. Every year on the anniversary of the Great Memory Chase, the people of Storybook Land would gather beneath the whispering willow tree. They would share their hopes and dreams, their joys and sorrows, their lives woven together in a tapestry of memories and music. And as the sun set, they'd watch the sky fill with the soft glow of hundreds of balloons, each one a reminder of the day their town and their hearts were mended with music.